Welcome to the Three Buds One Podcast, the show where two brothers dive into the depths of conversation, exploring anything and everything. So grab your favorite beverage, light up, and settle in to join the conversation with the Three Buds One Podcast. Because when it comes to exploring the world, it's always better with your buds by your side. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Three Buds One Podcast. I am your co-host, Jordan.
I'm your co-host, Wes.
Welcome to the first episode. What do you think? We're gonna call this the Green Out episode.
Episode 1. Green Out. Greening out.
We're very excited. We're very nervous for this, but we hope you enjoy and listen. Today we're gonna be talking about the first time we smoked, like the very first time we ever smoked, and the first time we ever greened out.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna
It
be
is
interesting.
gonna be fun.
My story is kind of interesting. Like, it's different, but yeah, it was a wild time greening out for the first time. I still remember it. It was such a gross feeling. It's so gross. I don't like it. But
I was scared.
The first time, I was a little bit scared. I'm not even lying.
Yeah.
I was tweaking. I didn't understand what was going on.
Yeah, me neither. No one explained this shit to me.
Oh my god. But like I understood that like I wasn't gonna die. Like, I understood that much. I knew that I was gonna be okay, but fuck. Like, I don't like spinning. Spinning?
Yeah.
The spins, that's why I don't like drinking. I'm pretty sure I told you mine. Okay, so pretty much it was when we just moved from New York when I was 13 turning 14 when we moved from New York, and then we stayed in South Dakota for a little bit with my grandparents, my grandfather. We stayed there for a little bit, and when my dad got a job, we were working on a ranch in Montana. We were working on this ranch, and my dad got this job, but me and my dad stayed on this ranch, and then I got to help work on the ranch, and it was my first job. And this ranch, my dad had some smoke. And it was when my mom, my dad, my sister, they ended up going to Billings, Montana, and they went to town to go get groceries and all that shit. And so I seen my opportunity. Okay, I had the PS4 loaded. The PS4 was loaded. I seen the vase, the bong,
the water pipe.
the water pipe.
So wait. So you were home alone?
Yes. So we were staying on the ranch. We were literally
Okay.
There was 3 beds in this tiny little camper, very tiny camper that me and my dad was staying in it. And then when I was working on there, when my mom and sister went back to South Dakota until we found a house in Montana, me and my dad just worked there until we found a house, and we stayed in that little camper. And so yeah, I was home alone. My mom, dad, sister, they went to town to go get groceries for us and all that stuff, and to also go look at houses and all that. And while I was just sitting there, the PS4 was loaded. My dad gave me Watch Dogs as soon as I got there. As soon as I showed up in Montana, my dad gave me Watch Dogs. And also, that was when we were playing Battlefield 4. which I really did enjoy at that time. That was actually a really fun time to me.
I really enjoyed the Battlefield 4 days. That's why I want to like play it
I want to
again and like go
try
back and play.
2042. I haven't tried it. Michael's give
I
me the download
enjoyed
it.
it. I thought it was similar,
Right.
like a similar feel to Battlefield 4, just like better graphics.
That makes
And I enjoyed it. I actually got a little decent. Like I was fucking getting like 30 kills and
right.
shit.
I'm down.
But
I'm
I was losing every round.
I don't even care. I just
I'm
want to
down
snipe
too.
because I love Battlefield sniping. Battlefield sniping is so
Mm,
fun. And
it is.
I like Battlefield 4. Battlefield Hardline, I enjoyed at first. And then
Yeah.
then it was kind of all right.
I actually I'm not gonna lie. And the at the time I enjoyed the hell out of
Mm-hmm.
Hardline. And whenever you were like, I'm not really like enjoying it anymore, I was like, yeah, me too, man. Let's go play something
You
else.
could have been honest with me. We went back to play
Well,
Advanced
no, I
Warfare.
like, yeah, which I hated.
I
But I was trying
enjoyed
to
it
get good at COD
competitively.
anyway.
I didn't like playing pubs, but I really enjoyed it competitively because it was different. But at the same time, I enjoyed Black Ops 3 competitively. I did not like Infinity Ward competitively. But anyways,
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
back
yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
smoking.
yeah.
Okay. So, Home Alone PS4 booted up. I'm pretty sure I had Battlefield 4 loaded. Oh, also, this was when
Oh,
I was banned from the PlayStation Network for a month. We're not going to get into that story quite yet, but
that's a different podcast episode.
that I was a kid and it was fucking stupid. But what's it called? Pretty much I was there. So yeah, I must have been playing Watch Dogs since that's a single player game. I seen it and we had like a jar of Keef. And this jar was of
Oh,
G18 or OG18. It was of OG18. And I wouldn't recommend smoking Keef as your first time,
yeah.
especially through a bong. That's a little harsh. It can be harsh, and you get the coughing fits, okay? But I hit that bong and I pulled a lot of it. I didn't fill the bowl all the way. I did like maybe like half and I pulled a lot of it. And I immediately, before the rip even before I pulled the bowl out, coughed. And I was so fucking high that I couldn't and I couldn't stop coughing and like I was fucking
Yeah.
drooling like on the
Uh,
tile floor in this camper. And
yeah.
I go to play the game and like I'm just fucking spinning. I didn't green out this time,
Yeah.
but I'm just spinning and I'm just trying to feel this out. I don't know what's going on. My throat fucking hurts because of this Keef.
Right.
And it was just not a good time at first. And but I couldn't even play the game. I ended up putting on the second like 300 movie, like the Spartan movie. I don't
Why?
that because that was the movie that we had in the trailer at the time in the camper.
Okay.
I just put that in the PS4. I don't even remember what that movie's called. 300. Um, what's the second movie? Second. 300 Rise of an Empire. It came out in 2014.
Mm.
So yeah, that was brand new at the time.
Yeah.
Brand new.
Okay.
And yeah, I just laid there in the fucking bed, tried to chill out, tried to sober up before my family comes home because I don't know how they're going to react.
No eye drops. Eyes are all fucking
No eye
bloodshot. You're
drops.
like
My
freaking
throat
out.
hurts. I keep coughing. It's the middle of the summer. I don't have a cold.
Right. They're like, why is the bong warm?
Why is that bowl?
I didn't pack this bowl.
I don't remember ashing this bowl.
Right. It's like, Wes, did you pack us a bowl? Why did you pack us a bowl? It's like I wanted to be generous.
Just dying.
Like you're like eyes wandering all over the place.
I remember telling both mom and dad that story, and they don't like. They said that they never knew about that. Big.
They had no suspicion, so you made that shit
I
up.
did it.
Damn.
I fucking did. I don't
give him a fucking what is it? Emmy? Not an Emmy. Grammy.
That's
Give
for
him
music.
a Grammy. Is it?
Yeah. That's for music. An Oscar?
Oh, that scared me. The cord fell off my lap.
Yeah, the Oscars is for motion pictures.
Okay, yeah. Give this man an Oscar.
I did it. I did it.
He did that shit. He did that shit.
Like, what they thought was my first time, my dad, he always told me that, like, he's okay if I smoke, but he really wants me to, like, my first time to be with him. That way it's in a safe environment and all that. So,
yeah, instead of packing a whole bowl
of Keef.
Okay.
And so, yeah, there was one day where my dad was like, I think you're ready. Do you want to smoke? And that time I smoked a lot. And like all that happened, my throat just really, really fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Really bad. But I smoked what I think is a lot. It was like a few bowls of like Purple Urkel and OG Kush. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm. Are those strong?
That all depends on who grows it. But Purple Urkel is like known to be pretty good. And this OG Kush was pretty good. And pretty much that was in 2014. So like,
yeah,
I was 14, just chilling. But anyways, so yeah, that happened, and with all that, I remember going upstairs after smoking. I remember drinking a bunch of like water and then apple juice because of how bad my throat hurt. Because this bong,
just to kind of like
this bong is harsh. It is.
Yeah,
and
I mean, I feel like bongs in general are kind of harsh.
They are,
but I feel like it's the best way to get high. So it's kind of like a small sacrifice.
Right.
I'm willing to pay.
It is. It is. I love it. I love it. But what I use is smooth. But anyways, with that being said, I remember going upstairs hopping on Call of Duty. My very first game playing while high, I remember going 4-23.
Yo, I feel like if I could remember my first time, like explicitly playing
And this was,
for the first time
yeah,
high, that'd be a great, like, another episode.
this was like in Call of Duty Ghosts, and I was really good in Call of Duty Ghosts.
Yeah.
And I didn't expect that. I thought I did a little bit better than that, to be honest. I think I got robbed.
In the moment you're like, oh yeah, 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 and you're
It's
just
just
like
a
cool
assistant
headed because
popping
you're
up.
high. Yeah. um, there's just like 20 assists.
No. I can still remember the map. I just don't know the name of the map.
Yeah. I think the first game I played like high was either COD or Valorant, I think.
Okay.
Well, actually, no. Probably Left 4 Dead. Wait. Yeah. I feel like Left 4 Dead is the right answer.
That makes sense.
I had to think for a second because that was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay. Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, and I didn't like smoke a lot. Um, and like it was also old. Like I think it was like months old. It was in a little baggie that someone sent.
Yeah.
um, but I mean, it got the job done. And then I was like, I mean, I'll get into that after I tell my story. Sorry. I feel like it would better fit
That
after.
makes sense though. But yeah, the first time I smoked, like I knew I was gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Like even when it came to greening out, I knew I was gonna do it again. Because the
Yeah.
majority of the time I I'm good. It helps me. Like it helps me relax. It helps me get
Yeah.
focused a lot of the time too.
Yeah. Well, oh my God. What I found like the right ratio to like smoke. It's like 2 hits, 2 or 3 hits for me. And if I'm just like, I sit down and focus on something, boom, I get that shit done. It's
Well,
so
yeah, Jordan.
crazy.
When it's literally like when we were playing ranked in MW2, we would
Mm.
play a game, go take little micro 2 hits, come back, go play a game, take micro
Yeah.
2 hits, come back, go play it. Like, and it's not too much. It's not overwhelming. It's not underwhelming. Like,
Yeah. I got into the habit of like smoking a whole bowl on accident. It's just like, oh,
nothing's
I've
on it.
smoked like 3 hits. It's like I could save half, but like
But why?
honestly, that's just 2 hits. And it's like, yeah, my mind's like, but why? And the moment I'm like,
Why?
true. Oh shit, the round's starting. Go for it. Even though I'm like, I want to like slow down on
Right.
it. It feels so good. It calms my head. It just internet connection. We're
What the
good.
fuck?
Yeah, that freaked me out. I was like, oh. I forgot what we were saying.
The micro hits.
Oh yeah. Uh, I go back and forth though. Like I've started to do the micro hits. Obviously, for the podcast, I wanted to be extra high, so I smoked the whole bowl. But Like if we're playing, yeah, I'll just it's like right there, so I just
Right.
take a hit or two. Even like if I die, like in the game, I'll take like a hit or
Right.
something. Not every death, not every death. That is not. You should not do that. Even though that would be a good
That would
video.
be kind of interesting.
Yeah, I saw Pine Park is
Optic headphones.
Eric Kahn's. Yeah, and a recent one they did, they like took a hit every like 3 minutes or something like that. I didn't watch it all the way, but apparently they got hella fucking high, and that sounds similar to that. And I feel
Yeah.
like that podcast did pretty well. So maybe the video would do well. Who knows?
Mhm.
I don't got that much weed though. That's a lot of
Exactly.
weed. I die a lot.
If we're playing ranked, like multiplayer,
uh
it'll be
yeah, if it's ranked, yeah, I would die all the time, which would raise the stakes. But in pubs, depends if it's the small map mosh pit. Yeah, you're
I
dying
just
every
throw my
2 seconds.
fucking body in pubs. Like I'm
Yeah,
not playing for
exactly,
anything. I just throw my body.
exactly.
Like because I don't have I don't care about the game. I don't care about my pubs,
Yeah.
Katie. I don't care
At that point, I'm just going for kills in
pretty
pubs at
much.
all times. I think that's what everyone does.
I feel like it's
I mean,
gotten
even
to
in ranked,
that. In ranked,
huh?
yeah, it feels like it's gotten to that. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, do you want to start talking about your first time?
Oh man, yes sir, yes sir. Uh, I was thinking about this while like I was waiting for you to like wrap something up, and it's just crazy because I haven't thought about that in a while. Like I've only thought about like the exact moment that I first smoked, but not like what was before it, what was after it, right like right before I went to go do it. I was like, everything's coming back to
Right.
me. um, but I I'm 19 and haven't smoked like oh no. Okay, never mind. I was about to tell a fake story that was my second time
Oh,
smoking. I'll still tell that because that's interesting. But fuck, how old was I? I had to be at least 16. I think I was 16. And I worked at Mickey D's. I don't know if we can say the name. Well, I'll have to look into that. Um, but I worked there for a total of 4
right,
years. I worked there for 2 years and then I left, and then went back literally like a month
right,
later because that job didn't work out. And I had left on good terms at first, which you should always leave on good terms if you can, and especially if you like the job, just in case you do
right,
have to go back. I've learned my lesson on that too. Um, but I was sick and tired of how I was being treated. And so, you always have these like work friends. And there's a lot of young people working at McDonald's. I was 16. I was one of the young people working
right,
there. Like I still had back then they had like the red
right.
hats for to know that they were underage,
Sure.
versus a black hat. I had a red hat. Or maybe I think it's until you're 16 and then you can get a black hat. I don't quote me. That was a very long time
Right.
ago. But Oh man. I was like, fuck this. Like, I was in the middle of my shift. I don't remember what happened. Probably got into an argument with one of my managers,
Right.
which they were the ones that were treating me poorly. So, of course. Um, but I went on lunch and I was like, fuck this. I'm quitting. Like, I'll walk out right
Right.
now. Because I was ranting to one of my work friends, which he was younger than
Right.
me, maybe 14, 15. uh, which I knew he had smoked. I've known people that smoked ever since middle school, really. Like one of the people I hanged out with, like dealt
Right.
and like dealed and like sold and everything like that. But where was I? Ah, fuck. Oh yeah, I was ranting to him, and he's like, "Bet like." No way you're gonna fucking walk out right now. Like, if you walk out right now, I'll smoke you out. I was so mad. I was like, "Let's go. Let's go to my fucking car right now." Went out. I think at the time I still had my Pontiac.
Okay.
Um, it was a 2000 Pontiac Grand Prix,
Okay. Yeah.
and it was silver. And I didn't change the oil. I didn't do shit for that car. I blew that engine up. It was a fun car though.
A little bigger.
But yeah, he was like, "All right, bet I'll grab my bag." And we literally walked to the back because there was a garage for like dry storage and stuff, or like extra storage, and that's where the lockers are. You break down boxes, and so we just opened up the garage, grabbed. I grabbed my stuff. He grabbed his bag. Went to my car. I didn't have any tint on my windows. I was literally in the McDonald's parking lot the whole time because this kid had to go back to
Right.
work after this. He was also on lunch, I think. Um, he pulls out this pencil, like pencil box or whatever.
Oh, like a little bag or a pencil box
Yeah, like a little, yeah, like a, it was like a small rectangular pencil
with
box,
a
I think,
zipper.
or it was a bag. I think so. One of them. I don't know.
We don't know.
I don't know. Um, but he pulled out this highlighter. I was like, the fuck? Why is he pulling out a highlighter? I thought we were gonna smoke. I'm not gonna smoke a highlighter. The fuck? Um, but he actually hid the weed in the highlighter because apparently he gets checked all the time for it. And so that was his way of hiding it.
And a highlighter.
Yeah, like so imagine a pen tube. You know,
Yeah.
it holds the ink and everything like that. Uh I think it was a little bigger one of that, and he had that in the highlighter and then something to hold it in place so it wouldn't like rattle. And if you seal it up, highlighter still works, and you pop off the bottom, you got your little stash. It was actually kind of genius.
It really
I was like,
is.
I was mind blown in the moment. I think I was like, "Yo, this is some like 007 shit." And he pulled out, you know, a little pipe, and he like sprinkled it in the bowl, handed me the lighter. He's like, "Go ahead, smoke." I was like, "You know me. This is my first time. You gotta like teach me. You gotta like, what do I do?" And so he took a hit, and you know he's all like bending down like this, like fucking, because there's no tint,
Right.
so it's like just bending down, trying to smoke it, and so he shows me, and obviously I go for it. I think I actually got a good hit or two. Um, And I think because at first I struggled, of
Right.
course, you always struggle. But once I managed to actually get it, smoking a little bit of burnt weed, got a few hits. You feel a little paranoid at first. I was like, okay, I'm kind of feeling it, kind of feeling it. There's a person in their car and they're watching us this whole time. Like, so imagine I'm in it's the East
Right.
North McDonald's. You know
Oh,
this
okay. Yeah.
lot? Yeah, the by the drive-through, it's like two
Yeah.
lanes, like only two spots. I was in the front space and they were in the back left. So not directly behind, but like
Okay.
diagonal. And they can see us bending down, fucking little bit of smoke coming out. I was like, oh my god, like they're gonna fucking call the cops and this and that. And he's like, no, we're good. Just like chill out. You're good. And I was like, okay, I'm good. Because obviously I didn't get like super high,
Right.
only got a few hits, but it was enough that I felt it while like I was driving off. Because right after he's like, all right, I got to go back, finish my shift. And I like pulled off into the road, and all of a sudden I was like, what's this feeling I'm feeling?
Is this what it feels
It
like?
felt, yeah, I was like, it's kind of warm because it was nice and like warm
Right.
out. And so I was like, ooh, this is kind of cool. And I put on my music because I had a little like
Right.
mixtape CD that I put all my like songs on. Um, Started just jamming out, driving home. Literally just drove home high, uh, and then like changed clothes. Maybe I showered because I didn't want to be all greasy.
Yeah.
I always showered after a shift at McDonald's. You reek even after. You feel greasy after
You do.
showering. They gave me new uniforms and they stunk like McDonald's already.
Right. Because they're
How
sitting
does
in
that
McDonald's.
happen? They were in sealed bags though, brand new
It's be-
uniforms every
it's just
time.
because it's in McDonald's. It's leaking through everything.
True. I never thought of it like that. um, but yeah, that was technically my first time smoking. That's crazy because I haven't thought about that in forever. I sealed that part out. Um, but the second time I smoked was after I moved out of South Dakota. Um, and I was working at this call center. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Oh my god. I almost greened out at work.
Oh, yeah. I remember you telling me about that.
I did tell you
Yeah.
about that? Oh, I'm trying to remember what came
Because that
first.
was
Shit.
like the time that I knew that
Oh,
you actually started.
yeah. Okay. So that was after. Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot of stories, but that's okay. Um, Long story short, second time I smoked was out of an apple.
Okay. Yeah.
I bought a coworker like a meal or whatever, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna make a trip to the dispensary. Do you want a little nug?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, hell yeah! I'll go to Jack in the Box and buy you some fucking fries or
Right.
whatever." Actually, I think it was like a big bag of like Sour Patch Kids or something because I was munching on that candy back then.
Right.
Um, Always got to get the big bags. But did the favor. I was like, how am I gonna smoke this? And um, trying to remember. I don't remember how it happened, but either T told me, and she was like, get an apple, and like this is how you got to cut it. Because I was talking to T on the phone at the time, um, and she's like, yeah, you got an apple. I was like, fuck yeah, I got an apple. Go out and go in there. I'm fucking like doing the cuts, make sure there's airflow, everything like that. And she's like, all right, like go for it. Once I got to the car, which right in front, like direct view of the
Right.
apartment. And I was living with my mom and sister. And so if anyone walked into the kitchen or living room at night after like going to bed, they would have just saw me going down in my fucking car.
I was like, what the
um,
fuck?
but there was security in that apartment complex. Right when I was about to light it, they drove very slow,
Right.
extremely slow past me. And once they left, as soon as they, for the audio listeners, I did a thumbs up, and a thumbs up animation came up. I thought that was only a
I
FaceTime
thought
thing.
that was only a FaceTime thing too.
That was weird. Um, but yeah, that time I didn't really get a lot of hits off the nug because I didn't break it up. I just shoved it in the apple.
Right. You just, oh my
um,
God.
yeah, I didn't break it up. I maybe broke it in half,
You just
and
stuffed it.
or like fourths. It was very dry too. Yeah. I got high off butane that night. It was like it was a little mixture of butane and weed, but like mainly butane. It was weird.
Butane don't taste good.
And yeah, after that it was a pipe. But the time I almost greened out at work, one of the people that gave me the nug, or like the person that gave me the nug was friends with
Right.
this dude. Sorry. uh, my foot accidentally hit the thing and my chair dropped.
Holy shit.
Um, but I took the dude because she wasn't there, and you know, she was technically his ride to work and home and
Right.
everything. And he's like, "Hey, are you gonna go to Jack in the Box for lunch? If so, I'll come with." Or like, can I come with? And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. Like, hop in." Um, and this dude had a dab pen. I never hit a dab pen
That's
before.
completely different.
That is completely different. I was generous. I was like, "Hey, I know what's happening. Like, you opened up to me, whatever. I'll get you your Jack in the Box," because I didn't have a lot of expenses at the time, and I was just throwing away
Right.
money on Jack in the Box.
Just hungry.
Literally just eating nonstop. Yo, honestly, their fries, they had these loaded fries, and they had a steak with white cheese version. It was so good. At least I think it was that. Um, anyways, waiting at the window at the Jack in the Box, already paid, just waiting for the food. And he's like, "All right," because I asked him, "I've never hit this. How do I hit this? I don't want to fucking die." um, and he's like, "Just hold the button and just inhale, like breathe in, whatever, however you want to describe that
Inhale.
sensation. Inhale, yeah." Um, and I counted, I think it was 5 to 8 seconds off of a fresh pen. he had just charged it in my car, I believe. Either that or he had it freshly charged
Right.
because I inhaled all the way, and I had good lungs back then. So I inhaled a lot, and because it wasn't burning, I was like, "Oh, this is like kind of
It
like a
wasn't
vape.
burning
Like it's not
yet.
gonna get me a lot." Yeah, and I breathe out, shit ton of smoke, out the window it flies, and I start dying because there's still smoke in my lungs trying to come out. And so I'm literally, drooling a little, like fucking like dying at the window. And he's like, "Hey, are you okay? You're okay. Like, just cough it out, cough it out. Drink some of your drink or whatever." Because I think I got a soda
Right.
or something. Um, and it took me a minute to recover, and thankfully, they took a while to get our food ready. Enough that I had just recovered and just started feeling the effects, grabbed the food, handed it to him, sped to work, and I shit you not, I felt good. I was like, "Hey, I've never been this high. I feel comfortable. Let's go." Like, I thought this was going to be scary, heart pounding out of my chest
Yeah.
still. Um, and I sit down in the cafeteria because we still got a few minutes before, gotta go back to class, work, because I was in training at the time. And as soon as I sit down, the room starts spinning. Like literally, it feels like I'm in the middle of a Ferris wheel and everything's just
Mm-hmm.
panning to the right. And I look down at my fries. I'm like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "Dude, I got too high." I was like, "Everything's spinning. The room's spinning. I'm freaking out." He's like, "No, you're good. You're good. Like, just breathe, breathe. You're good." Uh, then we go to class. I'm chilling, monitor in front of my face. I'm trying to hide my face. The room's still spinning. Fucking trying to listen just in case I get called
Right.
on from the instructor. And the instructor keeps looking at me. And we keep locking eyes for like a few seconds while he's talking. And he like gives me this like stern look of like trying to figure me out. And I'm like, "He's catching on to me. Oh my god, I'm gonna get fucking fired because I hit this pen and I'm getting too fucking high. I don't want to fucking pass out at work." Nah, I was alone too that day. Like, I was alone at my table. No one was there.
Do you want to know the first time I smoked at work?
Yeah,
So the first time that I smoked at work, it was at like my second job that I had. So
yeah.
I was working at this call center, just like you. And I was also in training.
It's always in training.
It was the second day of training. The very second day. Okay, so the first day, they go over like all the policies, no smoking. This was in Colorado, and they said that
Yeah,
weed is legal. We do allow you to have THC in your system, but we do drug tests for other substances, so it's okay. They just said don't smoke while at work.
yeah.
So with that being said, the very second day, the day after they told us not to do it, and all the other
You did.
gave us examples of other times of people doing it and like what
Yeah.
they've had to do. The very second day, me and this dude named Isaac, we go on break, and it's in this like big tall building. So we go down the elevator, and there's like a little like fire escape stairs that go all the way up to the roof. So we go to
Okay.
the bottom of it, and all of a sudden he pulls out a little nectar collector. He pulls out his little puck of wax, starts torching it
Jeez.
up. He takes his hit. I go to take my hit. And I press down into the wax. And I start pulling, and all of a sudden I hear knock on windows. And like I'm looking, and like I like trying to figure out what window it is, and I look up, like on the same floor that we're training at, and it was the other classroom teacher looking down at us. And all of a sudden, like after that happens, I kind of freak out. I'm only like 18 at the time.
Yeah.
And it's only my like second job. I only worked a part-time job before that. So this is like my first like real job. And so we all get upstairs after break, and I like try to put on like my big coat because this was like in the middle of January to kind of disguise myself. Hopefully he doesn't recognize my face. He wore glasses, so I don't understand why I thought that he's gonna have perfect vision with them bitches. But all of a sudden, like he comes into the classroom because this isn't his classroom, and he's looking right at me. He's looking right at Isaac and whoever else was with us. I can't remember his name. He didn't last long in training, but he's like staring right at me, and he's like, "We just got done telling you guys yesterday. Why are you guys gonna do this?" And he's like explaining that all the other projects that are in the building, because it's not just them. So like there's like a military project like above us. There's like other stuff below us.
Okay.
So it was understandable, but fuck, that was an interesting situation. We didn't get fired. They let us slide.
Let us slide.
But the next day I did get fired. Technically, I got fired for 15 minutes. I'm being dead ass serious, Jordan. I got fired for 15 minutes. And then they called me back. Well, so the very next day,
I gotta pee.
Anyways, it was third day of training. We are on our lunch break. This dude named Isaac, and this other dude in the training class named Skylar, I believe his name was. I'm pretty sure. We all go to this loaf and jug. And it was right next to our training facility. So we just walked over, went to Loaf and Jug, got some snacks. Isaac bought some chips. I didn't buy anything. I didn't have money. But anyways.
Oh. What happened?
I don't know. But anyways. We're at this Loaf and Jug. We're buying stuff. We leave. Everything goes smoothly. Like, this is our lunch break. So this is at like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, because it was like a 10 to 7 shift. And all of a sudden it gets down to like 5, 6 o'clock. And we end up transferring to this other building to like coach with this other team, because they have like different projects in a bunch of different buildings. So we go over to this building, we're chilling, and then all of a sudden, like me, Isaac, and Skylar get pulled to the side. We don't know what's going on. Well, me and Isaac don't know what's going on.
Oh, okay.
But all of a sudden, like, we get into like, it literally felt like being in the principal's office. And we're just sitting in this person's... Exactly. We're just sitting in this office, and all of a sudden the person comes in and they're like, "So we got to talk to you about something." And then she shows up this picture of security footage from that loafing jug.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is a picture of you guys leaving the loafing jug, and Skylar shoplifted. And
Yo.
me and Isaac didn't know. Isaac bought
Yeah.
food. I'm just hanging around Isaac. Skylar went around and did his own thing. I thought he went to the
Yeah.
bathroom or something. But I'm just with Isaac at the register as Isaac's paying for his food. We all walk out together. But
Yeah.
so they're like, Skylar shoplifted, and they're like, so unfortunately, like, you guys shoplifted, and me and Isaac were like, we didn't know. And they're like,
Yeah.
well, you guys walked out together, so it does look like that you guys planned it out and stole together. So we gotta, unfortunately, we're gonna have to terminate all three of you guys. And me and Isaac are like, this don't make any
Oh.
sense. We didn't
Yeah.
know. It's the third day of training.
Yeah.
I'm upset. I'm like, this don't make sense. And then I don't have a ride at the time. My mom
Yeah.
worked just across the street, and she would. I called her, and I let her know that I'm off. I just got fired. I'm walking. I'm trying to figure out how to get back to the main building to get to, because I don't know where I'm at. I'm in Pueblo. It's like my first
Yeah.
time like adventuring.
Yeah.
And like, she picks me up, and then all of a sudden, as I'm walking, I get a call, like right before she picks me up, and they're like, so we've asked them for more footage, and they gave us like a video clip, and it does show that you guys weren't even around him when he stole it, so we can hire you back on if you would like to. And I was like, you guys fired me for 15 fucking minutes. I left at like 6. All of a sudden, it's 6:15. I was supposed to be there till 7.
Oh my god.
I didn't even go back. I went back the next day for training, but like, well, I'm not coming back. I already walked so far.
Yeah.
I will be in tomorrow.
Yeah, I would be so livid. I'd be like, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
My first time greening up, that was very scary. For me, it was similar to getting very dehydrated.
Okay.
Um, at the time, God, hold on. My hands are all oily. I just saw all the oil and it glistened in the sun. I was like, ew. So me and this girl T, my girlfriend, we lived together at this old place, and this is crazy. I had my ex for some reason helped me go on Tinder to find some dude to sell us some weed because we didn't want to do it the normal way at the
Right.
time for whatever reason. And so we meet up. I meet up with this dude named Peanut.
Peanut.
That was his name on Snapchat. It was Peanut something. So I just call him Peanut the dealer. And I forgot he was like, oh yeah, sometimes I get stuff from all over the place, like different states, and like depends on where I travel. Like I travel there and then I bring stuff back. I was like, okay, makes sense. But we were still skeptical, and I think this was the first time that we bought flour from him, because before we had just bought
Right.
carts, because we lived on the first floor. We didn't want like the stink to go up, like, or the
Right.
smell. Because we had asshole upstairs neighbors. Like, they were not. We never got into like any confrontations with them or anything, but like, they did not want to fuck with
Right.
us. um, but like, finally got flour. We're like, let's go. Like, the because at that point, I think, actually no, we had bought flour from him, I think, once or twice
Okay.
before, and so we're like, okay, we're good. We were smoking on the pipes, and then we like stopped smoking for like a month because like money or whatever. My cat. um, and he came, paid him, everything like that. Don't know if I should have said that. We can bleep it,
Right.
whatever. Um, but get the flour, go inside. Haven't smoked for a month, and I go, "You want to smoke out of the bong? Can I try the bong for the first time?" Yeah, this was first time greening out and the first time on the bong. And she's like, "All right, all right." Um, and again, I don't know how to smoke out of it. You do it first. Tell me, walk me through. She walked me through, and immediately, because like bongs are easy to hit and like rip and everything
Right.
like that. So as soon as I got the flame to go in and like light it, um, that shit burned up hella fast because I was pulling hella hard. It got hella milky, and for whatever reason, after a few seconds, she was like, pull it. And then again, around 5 or 8 seconds, I either pulled it out or she pulled it out. And she was like, inhale. Not even to like take a second. Because now when I hit the bong, I have to like pull it, and then I have to breathe in, take another breath, and then pull
Right.
it from the bong. Back then, again, I had better lungs, fresh lungs, um, and pulled all of it. Not even just a part of it. I pulled all of that shit. Actually, I didn't even get to pull all that shit because it all didn't come out.
Right.
Immediately died. This time I actually did drool everywhere. I was on all fours on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
fucking dying. Literally couldn't breathe for like probably a minute or two. It was so difficult. Um, stand up. She was like, "Yeah, you're good. You're good. You're not taking any more hits." She finishes smoking. I'm like, "All right, you're done. All right, let's go. Like, let's go make food." Um, Again, I was feeling fine. I was like, "Ooh, I'm getting real high. This is kind of cool." Nope. As soon as I get out to the living room, which at the time we had our bed out there,
Right.
and so I was like, I need to sit down for a second. She's like, "You okay?" I was like, "Yeah, just feeling a little off." And she's like, "Okay, tell me if it gets worse." So I was like, "Okay." I laid down. Don't ever lay down, but I laid down. But I like my eyes couldn't stay open, and if I was upright, I was dizzy. And so laid down, it was like for a split second, it'd be like, oh yeah, yeah. But then when your eyes are
Mm-hmm.
closed to, you still spin and like the visual spin
It's
or
terrible.
whatever. It's so terrible, and it wouldn't stop no matter what. And you know, I've learned that if you're ever going to green out, for the listeners listening, if you feel like it's going to be too much and you're getting very paranoid, tell someone. If you're smoking with someone or if someone's sitting you,
Don't
whatever,
be embarrassed.
don't be embarrassed. Just tell them that you're getting way too high, shit's spinning, whatever. Because I waited to like the last second to open up, and I ended up standing up because I was like, this is too much. Like I don't know what's going on. And she's like, she starts freaking out. She's going like, what the fuck is going on? Because I believe God, she would probably know this story better because she was, dealing with it. But I ended up, she was helping me to the chair from the bed. So, maybe like 5 feet
Right.
away. And I couldn't. I just couldn't. She was literally like this little girl. Like she's short, way shorter than me. I'm all lunked on her. She's dragging me over to the chair, um, and I start passing out. Like it's too much for my brain. It starts shutting off, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. Out. And apparently, like you witnessed it for this champ tattoo. When I pass out, my body
Right.
shakes. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a mini seizure.
It could be.
I don't know. I figured that out because of you guys, and I just haven't looked into it.
It happens to
Uh,
me.
yeah. And so she doesn't know that.
Right.
And so I start passing out. I'm shaking, whatever, and eyes rolling in the back of my head, coming back. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I'm like mumbling, like, call 911, call 911. Like, shit was laced, like, multiple occasions. Like, I think I passed out maybe like 8 different times.
Right.
And in between, I was so terrified. I was like, that shit was laced. Like, this, that, like, whatever, call 911. Like, I need an ambulance. Like, what if there's like fentanyl in
Right.
this? And she was freaking out. She was like, I think that you just got too high because I'm fine. So if it was laced, I would be fucked up too, which did help.
It did make
And I was
sense.
like, okay. And like, yeah, I was like, okay, that
Or
makes sense.
are you a
Yeah.
fentanyl addict?
Oh, aren't we all?
Aren't we? What?
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I probably spent a good 30 minutes passing out and coming back. And then I think she was slapping my face. I think she maybe poured some water on me. The whole 9 yards. I just had to sleep it off.
Mm-hmm.
Like
That's the
I
best thing
knew
to do.
from the start. That's why I laid down. I was like, I know I need to sleep this off, but like we haven't ate dinner. Like we just smoked. Like I want to enjoy this. Like this is the first bong hit,
Like,
but a little too much.
yeah. Sleeping it off is the best thing to do, but at the same time, like, if you spin, it's so hard. It's
Yeah.
so hard to actually get to
When you
sleep.
get to that point, it's so hard.
But, yeah. Greening out's not fun. Did you end up throwing up?
No, I actually have not thrown up from greening out. I always I've gotten good at reading it, like my body.
I'm good at it too.
When it comes to that, if I get too high, at least now, I'll get a headache. Huh? That was weird. Oh, cat banged up against the wall. I thought it was like echoing from a
Oh.
speaker. I was like, what the fuck? Anyways, what was I saying?
Talking of You're getting good at noticing when your body gets to that.
Oh yeah. Um, like it. I haven't like gotten to the greening out point in a very long time. Um, but I always feel like queasy. Like I feel kind of
Mm-hmm.
sick
Nauseous.
with that massive headache. Kind of like a weird migraine, not necessarily like a migraine, but a weird
Right.
version of a migraine that can sometimes make you dizzy. But at that point, I'm just like, I gotta go to
Right.
bed, and I just sleep it off because I'm like, I can't deal with
Fucking
that.
sucks. Fucking yeah. Yeah. So are we ready for my story?
Oh yeah, I'm
Okay.
ready. I'm ready to hear because I don't know if I've heard this story or not.
So my very first time greening out was back in 2014. I was 14 years old. I just got done taking some bong rips with my mom and dad, and it was this really, really good OG Kush. I took this bong rip, and it was just one rip, and all of a sudden, I am dying. I can't stop coughing. Throat burns like a bitch. I chugged a whole fucking gallon of apple juice. Terrible.
Jeez.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm getting dizzy. I'm laying on the dog bed. I don't know what to do.
Hey,
My
dog beds are
my
comfy.
mom, um, it like it felt like it lasted forever. I didn't actually pass out this time, but this is the one where
Yeah.
like I didn't puke either, but it's the one where I felt extremely sick and I didn't want to deal with it anymore. This is the time where I
Yeah.
wanted it to stop. But mom, she ends up dragging like the dog bed over to the living room with
Yeah.
me on it.
Yeah, I imagined it
And
already.
I like very roughly start like climbing onto the couch, like, and I get up there, I lay down, and for some reason, like, this was around the time where I watched The Walking Dead a lot, and
Mm.
my mom's like, this is like a comfy show or a comfy show for Wes. Puts it on. It was the most
Oh
anxious time I've
god.
had in my life. I I couldn't talk. I couldn't like come up like get myself to talk. Fucking
Yeah.
the like whole screen is flashing. You know, in like cartoons, like on the TV when it shows like an infomercial for like a commercial and it has like the stars like behind like the product like that. It was
Oh
like
yeah.
that around the TV the whole time. And it was like
Oh,
flashing and I'm like, this is make it stop.
weird.
And it's just zombies eating people. I'm like, stop. I
Oh
can't
my
say
god.
anything. I'm all, Mama,
Mama.
I killed a man. Oh my god. Yeah, that was the worst time. That was the first time. The second time that I greened out was the worst time. The
Yeah.
worst. It was bad. I also ended up having like an anxiety attack and started passing out. Um,
Yeah.
Same thing, one bong rip. It was 2020 of, or no, yeah, no, it was 2019. It was 420 of
Mm.
2019. Dad offers me a bong rip. I'm 19 years old. I just got off a long day at work. I'm ready. I'm happy. I'm like,
Let's
let's go. I hit the bong. I just took one rip. I immediately rush upstairs, hop back on the game. I get to playing, and then all of a sudden, like, I'm starting to feel a little bit woozy, and Dad barges into the door.
Oh my
Like,
god.
why? And he's like, "You want another hit?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." He's like, take another, take another, and I'm like, and
No.
like at this point, like all of a sudden, my anxiety, I blacked out, and I could not talk. I could hear
Yeah.
everything, but I could not talk.
Huh.
I started throwing up. I started to
Ooh.
shake. I um like was on the ground, and I like was like in and out. Like I had vision,
Yeah.
I didn't. I had, I didn't. It fucking sucked. That was the scariest time, just because I kept blacking out.
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
Oh my god. Yeah, blacking out is not fun. Especially if you like keep blacking out repeatedly.
Yeah,
Probably not good for the brain
no,
either.
probably not.
Probably not.
But we ball.
We balling out here. We got up our tolerances now. We Gucci. We
Exactly.
Gucci.
Fucking yeah. It was a wild time. I did not like that second time. And then Dad's all over there like peer pressure, peer pressure.
Right.
But it was funny as fuck though.
What was funny?
How he's all,
Like dad being
yeah,
huh?
like Dad all trying to like say yes, but I'm just not feeling it at all.
Yeah, that's funny. He's just not reading the room at all.
Literally.
That's funny. Well, I mean, I've I know we've definitely been recording this episode for more than an hour now,
Yeah.
not including the hour that we recorded before
Right.
starting. um,
All right. All right. Anyways,
okay.
is there anything that I would like to say to the viewers? You said.
Yeah.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you've made it this far, make sure to tune in every Saturday. We'll come up with the time slot for that. But make sure to tune in every Saturday if you enjoy. Make sure to like, comment, follow us on our socials, because I feel like this is going to be a really good time. It,
Really good
it's
time.
fun to do already. It's funny, like actually looking back at these
Funny, yeah.
stories, and it'd
Honestly,
be
we were some goofy ass
it,
kids.
yeah, and it would be interesting to know like your guys' stories as well. So if you guys could comment down and let us know some of your stories, maybe we could go over them, and
That's
that
what
would
I
be
was thinking. Yeah,
funny as
comment
fuck.
those.
Going over people's greening
That
out stories.
honestly, yeah, if you guys, the viewers listening, if you enjoyed today's episode and, you want to share, your greening out or your first time smoking stories, whatever, comment them down below. We'll have our socials linked. We'll have emails you can email. Like reach out, tell us stories. I would love to go over that and be like, oh my god, I could never imagine, someone going through this for their first time, or
Right.
like, oh yeah, a lot of people are just like mellow for their first time. That'd be really interesting, and I'm sure it would be pretty entertaining for you guys
It
to
would be.
watch and listen to. So yeah, I mean, if you guys enjoyed, like you said, make sure to leave a like, comment, rate the podcast on whatever you're listening it on. I know on Spotify you can like leave a review or a rating. So we'd love to see what you guys think in general about our first podcast because we're new to this. We're having fun. Just two bros. We're actually brothers. We didn't mention that. Maybe we'll mention that at the very start. But like, we are technically half blood brothers.
We're just
I
brothers.
don't know if that's a
I
compliment.
don't
Yeah,
care. I don't.
yeah. We're full brothers, but like by blood, we have the same
Yeah,
dad. So
different moms.
yeah. Thank you for tuning in to the Three Buds One podcast, and we will see you guys next week. Bye bye.